Alright, live. For anyone who watches this past, I'm going to be reacting and reading chapter 408 of Hunter x Hunter. Very excited. This will be Borskin versus Morena. Morena, obviously, the leader of the Haley. Borskin, one of the Kukin security guards on the upper level. Welcome to the dark room. It is night time. I don't have the big light on because it's making this flashing thing, which I don't like. Well, it'd be more inconvenient for anyone who views this. So excited for the chapter. I think Borskin probably will have a bit of wit, hopefully. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really that interested in this part. Maybe Borskin does something surprising that catches Morena's interest, and Morena wants Borskin to join her side in the Mafia as a spy. That could be interesting when Borskin maybe doesn't really want to. I don't see... Morena's already killed off people. I don't really see the need for it. But, anyways... Might as well start reading. So they've got a card game, a number of rules. I'm sure Togashi will explain them again. Let's go. Let's see if Borskin stays alive this chapter. You're up first. Choose a card, Morena says. And so a battle of wits intensifies. So the card with the arrow, let the negotiation game begin. The purpose card. Why did you choose this card? Is this really the time for idle talk? If so, I might as well join in, but there's no penalty, right? Borskin goes. Morena replies, it's fine, go ahead. We should get to know each other during this. Hey, do you have any other members? Borskin says. There's around 50 of you, right? And the other members smiling very sinisterly. Morena goes, haha, nice try, but they won't say a word. There are other members, by the way, but that's it for questions. If you'd like to ask more, you'll have to use a card. Borskin replies, naturally, I choose purpose to use as a basis for making decisions. I won't answer your questions anymore either then. Morena replies, how unfortunate. Okay, if I ask one question and you answer it, you can ask me one too. Thank you. And then she's thinking, they have fewer than 50 members. You didn't tense up and responded immediately, so my guess must have been way off. It's possibly closer to half that. My goal is the destruction of the Kukin Empire. After that, I'll focus on the extinction of humanity. I'm going to try my best. Man, that is absolutely savage. The extinction of humanity. And that's why I need you. It's always the pretty girls who just want the extinction of humanity. And yeah, a sigh from Borskin, and Morena's like, Borskin says to the savage, that explanation isn't nearly enough. If 100 is completely clear, you're at about a 3 right now. Oh, I see. You're clearly curious. I guess I should start using my upbringing. Have you even heard the term second track faker? Borskin replies, yeah, it means royalty, like you who have no claim to the throne. Morena replies, that's true for the actual Morena Prudu, but I'm not even royalty. The real Morena is in my grave. In the grave? Ha, then who exactly are you? Boston replies. Morena says, Carnival and Le Majesté. Do you get it? Carnival orphans, Borskin goes. Carnival Le Majesté. A festival for Kakin families that takes place once every few years. They secretly visit a village chosen at random and host a banquet. All the selected villagers are then sorted into two groups, those who entertain and others. Any act that disrespects the royal family is forbidden and punishable by death. Before modern times, even outspoken, low-ranking officials or commoners who dared to gaze at the royals faced the death penalty. Shit. Despite democratic progress, actions such as contraception, abortion, or genetic testing involving members of the royal family are still considered treason, and the offenders are immediately executed. Wow. And Morena goes, my mother was kept from resting or sleeping while she entertained the royal entourage for several days, and she apparently died when I was 2, never even realizing that she had been pregnant with me and given birth. All of us carnival orphans had our faces slashed at birth, wow, and were sent to a facility. It was a hideout for a human trafficking ring operated by the Haley, and was also connected to a back alley hospital where our mothers were treated. Here we were scientifically sorted into second track fakers, or meat. I was meat. She continues, for around 20 years I lived as meat and things happened to me. Well, she's just completely emotionless. Until recently, being being the victim of trafficking. Until recently, when I was able to become the boss of the Haley. While fulfilling my role as meat, I became aware of a certain talent and I had gradually developed it. It was my ability that led me to the plot of the destruction of Kakin. Man, you definitely see the other two, the Char and the ZU, taking out the Haley now. Carnival is a festival that's held irregularly. The orphans are divided based on the last 2 digits of the Kakin calendar year. I'm from the 98 group. During the 20 years it took to become the Haley's boss, 7 new groups of carnival children entered the facility. The latest orphans are from the 20 group they entered last year. In other words, it has been 2 years since the last carnival, which took place the year after the group festivals commemorating Kakin's democratization. I'm sure you understand now. Kakin hasn't changed at all, and it never will be. So she wants to destroy the whole system for what she's gone through. Fair enough. So that's the rough sequence of events that led me to believe that Kakin must be destroyed. Wow. To achieve my goal, I needed comrades, each with unique abilities. Among them, there's one with the most essential role and the ability to carry it out. And that would be you. Okay, she's still recruiting, wants Borskin. That's why you were brought here, and I'm trying to recruit you. Why am I the one? That can't be answered with this card, that's all. Now, could you move one closer and then turn it over? Okay, turns the card, the Joker. The Joker, yes or no, makes no difference to me. The card is pretty much pointless. Send the Joker to the graveyard. Now go ahead and choose the next card. The Power card. I'm so happy you really asked me twice in a row. I'll do my best to explain it as clearly as possible. Do you know what Nen abilities are? I know a bit since I've heard about them. I'm not sure if the information is accurate though. It's like supernatural abilities, and I heard they're used in the succession contest. That basic understanding is correct. Indeed, like supernatural abilities, but with the right training, anyone can acquire them. There are also Nen abilities that can awaken those who haven't yet developed them on their own. My own ability falls into that category, so you won't have to spend much time at all at special training. I understand. Borson replies, well, would you mind telling me exactly what your ability is? Sure, Morena replies. To put it simply, my ability involves granting abilities to those who share the same goal as me and growing that circle of influence. Well, that is a very convenient ability, as always. Her ability's been told in the last few, 20 chapters. I'm the parent, and there's a limit of 22 children. When the children accumulate a certain number of points, they can become parents themselves and create more children. So she's making this weird family, as seen before, a system type ability. It's kind of like a pyramid scheme, isn't it? Yeah, she loves the pyramid level, multi-layered marketing, direct selling schemes. She loves all of that. I ask each child about their goal and help them to awaken their ability, taking into account their individual characteristics. To be honest, cunning, Borskin goes, thinking ahead, purpose and ability, no matter which one you choose first, the explanation is structured in such a way that you'll want to know about the other. If I had chosen ability first, you wouldn't be explaining anything besides this. Or rather, I don't really care about duty, responsibility, or national defense, but I'd find it trouble if Kakin were gone. Each of them, isn't the goal the destruction of Kakin? Borskin goes. And she continues to think, when the daily lives we thought would continue and the promising future we thought we would have are suddenly disrupted by someone else's grand ambitions, it's unpleasant and a nuisance. Oh no, I've lost it. I read that. Shit. It's fucking mouse. I don't know if it's the web page. Here we go. The text blogs are back. The light novel. As far back as I can remember, I was already enrolled at a military prep school, Borskin thinks, and was taught that my mission was to keep my country safe. But I thought as long as war doesn't break out before I die, that's good enough. Well, it's pretty depressing. Still, by sheer luck, I was just competent enough to make it into the senior officer academy. Just listening to hit songs from enemy states put our lives at risk, leaving us months behind the trend, yet we were taught about the untouchable outside world in high school. We learned how we had the lowest rate of flood control in the world, yet the highest projection rate of parts for objects in the stratosphere, and we were ranked number 1 worldwide in information processing. In a country like this, I was supposed to live a modest and uneventful life. I might have become an instructor at a secluded military academy, or the most fourth secretary to the Deputy Director of General Affairs at the National Defense Agency. That's why this is such a nuisance. Well, she had a life set up for herself, a modest life. After the declaration of a new continent from someone called Beyond, things became more and more ominous, and now, to top it all off, supernatural abilities and extinction of humanity. Nani? Yeah, she's really perplexed. The destruction of Kakin is my personal small goal. Morena goes, to take you there. I can sympathize with your upbringing, but if there was ever someone who I wanted to disappear, I would never consider choosing murder as a way to get rid of them. Well, yes, Morena's a psychopath, unlike Borskin, still kept to reality slightly. Morena goes, the main goal we all have in common is to kill people. It doesn't matter if it's direct or indirect. We each have our own reasons, circumstances, targets, and numbers. Those are our own small goals. I appreciate your honesty. I'm glad I realized that I can't empathize with your goal at all. Based on the information, I have to avoid this unusual situation at all costs. So, okay, Boston wants out of there completely. So, will Morena kill her? These supernatural abilities are greatly influenced by an individual's personality and state of mind. You state that supernatural abilities have a strong connection to an individual's personality. How can you know that my awakened ability is important to you when you hardly know me? Borskin replies, isn't this just my awakened ability? Isn't this just a negotiating tactic to make the other party think I'm unique? While hiding your true intentions by using rhetoric like everyone is unique. Morena replies, Nen abilities are divided into 6 categories. So she's explaining Nen to the Nen user who doesn't know what Nen is. You belong to the extremely rare specialization category. One of our members is an enhancer. So Borskin pretty OP specialist, like the Dogman, an enhancer. He enhanced his sense of smell and gained the ability to sniff out abilities. His power has now reached a level where he can detect the faintest hint of aura, even from someone who is unawakened. And he's still looking for unawakened specialists like you aboard the ship. Okay? So he was the one that sniffed out Borskin from 2 chapters ago. This is based on my own research, so there may be some margin of error, but the ratio for specialists is roughly 1 in 3,000. You understand what this means, right? It's true that these users are relatively rare, but given the size of the ship, there have to be at least 50 or 60 more on board. Wow. Krabika. It would be best if we could find someone among them who has the same goal as us. Morena goes, look at those eyes, just to stare. We need to settle this immediately. In fact, he's already encountered multiple awakened specialists. One of them was a champion floor master at Heaven's Arena, renowned in martial arts world, which really excited him. Well, they're going for Crollo. That's what I meant. We were working with the Troupe. That's when I said this longer this negotiation goes on, the greater the risk to you. And that's the explanation of my ability. I'd like to hear more about this specialization. Borskin goes. More specifically, I want to know what kind of ability you'd want me to have if you were to grant me one. This question is quite relevant to the yes or no cards. Morena goes. I'll start by explaining specialization. To put it very simply, specialization is just so convenient. Oh, man, this reading is challenging. The other categories, for example, have practical limitations, such as transmuters who struggle with learning manipulation abilities, whereas specialists don't have any of those. If there is a drawback, it's that because of their lack of weakness. Not because of lack of weakness, but might master a different category without realizing they're a specialist. Then they end up regretting it. Classic specialist stuff. So if you already know that you're a specialist, you can take on challenging hybrid techniques that require mastery of multiple categories to manifest or utilize at a high level. You can even attempt truly unique abilities that don't belong to any category at all. By the way, I'm also a specialist. Morena goes. Become my comrade and you will be granted the advantage of acquiring a Nen ability and the chance to improve our skill through a point system. This ability is quite unique, much like a high-level hybrid technique that combines elements from the other 5 categories. Of course, this is why I do have specific requests regarding your ability, but I can't say them since that requires you to choose the relevant card. I do apologize. If you choose the yes card, I will tell you the ability I want you to acquire if you decide to join us. This question isn't so much about Nen abilities as it's asking what role are you expected to play if you join our team. Understood? Morena asks. Yeah, Borson replies, and the guy shuffling the cards in the background. No matter which card I draw next from the remaining 4, the number of options won't change. So 4 left. If it's a question from a card besides question A, it seems like she will give reasonable answers even after it's sent to the graveyard. It's always better to have more information on the other side, but what she said about the time risk is also true. Whether the game will drag out or not will be decided once the questions are narrowed down. And so she gets the yes question, yes card. Oh, what a shame. Only the second card and you've already decided not to join us. Lol, that reaction from Morena is interesting. In the members look disappointed. At the very least, this shows that they haven't witnessed any cheating in the past. So I can't be complacent. The real question is whether she's ever played this negotiation game with someone who doesn't want to join the group. If I'm the first, then her reaction makes perfect sense. Well, it can't be helped. I'll do my best until the very end. Morena goes. There's still a big difference between no and X after all. The difference, don't you want to know about it? Alright. I'll follow your lead and go with no. Okay. I'll explain what happens if no is your last card. Okay. Morena goes, what's most important is the difference between the 2 cards that I mentioned. No means you won't become one of our members, while X nullifies the game. We consider no to be an empathetic declaration of will. It's an unwavering refusal and irreversible pardoning. So far, nothing unexpected here. Borskin thinks yes and no are the same, the 2 opposites. If there's a choice between yes or no, I have to choose yes. That's what a persuasive threat makes you think. In other words, we will see you and those people around you as people who are not one of us. Morena goes, it's either you're one of us or you're nothing to us. Just part of the masses, merely points used to improve our abilities so we can achieve our goals. And this is the sadistic thing about part of the ability, killing people to earn more points. We won't invite you back again, but now that you know our secret, we can't just let you leave scot-free. It's very obvious. So now you mention it. Does that mean I could never even play X in the first place? The third trap, the whole game is a trap to make you say yes. Even with the X card, you would still be in the same predicament of knowing our secret. But the fact that you discovered our secret will also be nullified, Morena goes. This doesn't mean erasing your memory. In the contrary, we will trust you and act as though none of this ever happened. Bullshit. And our side will avoid contacting you as much as we can. We won't cheat and try to distort the fact that it never happened if we meet again. We won't say, how do you do? Let's play a game. And we'll try our best not to involve the people around you. To be more specific, we'll compare the information we've gathered about the people close to you, share it with our members here, and then avoid them as much as we can, given our goal. The most accurate way to put it would be delaying it for as long as possible. I'll ask you outright to save time. Borson goes, the X card has no benefit for you and the risk is high. Even if you say, trust me, I can't trust you under these conditions. Could you explain what the benefits to your side are in a way I can understand? There's a lot of dialogue here. Imagine when this gets animated, like having to go through all this. Morena replies, I'm happy to answer that. What I'm about to say might take a little bit to explain, but the benefit to our side is the fact that the risk is high. I see limitations and vows, high risk, high return, just like everything in life. It's an extremely important part of Nen abilities. If the negotiation fails after an honest struggle, it can't be avoided. Even if it involves great risk, I'll accept it. By entertaining the game with this much resolve, my ability will become stronger and allow me to get better, support our members. Damn, this is pretty fucked up. The same is true for those who become members. This massive pyramid scheme of killing by overcoming the risk of dying if the last card is no. Our unity and effectiveness become stronger by overcoming the risk of dying if the last card is no. So if it's no, she'll stay alive. Wow. Morena is downright disturbing, even though she's drawn like a shoujo protagonist from the 80s. So yeah, shoujo. Yeah, it's I can't wait to see it animated. The voice actor, someone statistic like can't think of any female ones, but like just get the male version of Hisoka, the female version of Hisoka to get to play Morena. So you don't seem rattled. How admirable. Borskin replies, well, it's the same. I was preparing for myself, and maybe it's because all this still doesn't feel real. Once there are only 2 cards left, it'll feel much more real, don't you think? Man, this is sadistic as fuck. Go ahead, and it's X. And so the cards I have left are no. If it picks no, then she decides to not join. Then without the choice, well, the card, she picks the card, then she'll die. And revival. And then an announcement: martial law has been declared. Martial law has been declared. This is not a drill. We repeat, this is not a drill. Even more chaos aboard the ship. So something happening. Something is happening right at the end of the game. Oh wow. Oh, that was a lot of dialogue this chapter. Let's just see what other people think about it. It's fucking hot as hell around. It's like 30 degrees at night. So if I'm a bit slow in the way I'm talking, I'm fucking hot. I'm heating up. I'll take the martial law. Benjamin is going on a tyrant. Let's fix up this display. That should be all right. That's better. All right. Let's see. So shout out to the translator, Togashi Troupe. No One Piece this week, so TCB haven't even put out Hunter x Hunter yet. For Racist Drake, I wonder if that's Voracious Cake, who used to be on the Hunter x Hunter forums. Just a side note there. Jesus, dude, that panel with the piece of meat and a gash in it. Yeah, that was cooked. Like, yeah, the meat cutting through the meat, just cooked. Literally cooked meat. I don't know why the chat on the screen is so much slower than the YouTube one, but on the chat, martial law. Did Benjamin won against Hulkenberg? 4 hours have passed since Hulkenberg took Balsamico. Yeah, did we get a time update at the start of the chapter? I'll quickly go to TCB for 407. So the time at the end of the last chapter was... So 407 was 1 p.m. when Hulkenberg's ceremony was going off. So 1 p.m. Sorry. So 407 was 1 p.m. on the 12th day. So, yeah. So, I assume 4 hours have passed. I can't remember exactly the time when Hulkenberg took over Balsamico, but maybe, obviously Benjamin's ability, if Balsamico is actually dead now and Hulkenberg has gone back to his body, Benjamin will know of what's happened with Hulkenberg. I think that's probably the main reason why martial law started. Benjamin just wants revenge. His right man hand. Seeing of how 408 is a direct continuation of the card game, I think it's safe to say not much, if any, time passed. Yeah. I mean, if we didn't get a time update, then Hulk doesn't have a body to go back to, though. I'm pretty sure with his ability, no, you might be right. Yeah, because you're right. Because his physical body's gone. It's literally dead. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I'm really interested to see how Togashi does this next week. In some of these panels, Borskin looks like she's. Someone said that as well. from 80s. Is that your username? Hulk probably has the most confusing ability in all of HXH. Even he and his followers struggle to understand it. Lol. Yeah, and like Togashi's making jokes about it. Just So if I understand correctly, Morena isn't the real Morena, but the woman is a biological royal bastard. But since she was a meat and not a track fakers, she killed the real Morena to steal her identity and became legit for a Mafia boss title. Damn, there's a twisted, but I didn't expect. I thought the 3 current bosses were the only living royal bastards, but there are way more. Nuzabi, you freak. Yeah, just a lot of fucking. I just want to point out a phenomenon that happens in some recurring. Nobunaga's suspicions was right. The current Haley gang are nothing like the former gang. Muraba wants to end that mess. Morena says she came from Group 98 and the recent Orphans group was 20 from a fest held 2 years ago, means her age is 24. She says she's treated as meat, as in sexually abused for about 20 years by Haley. Yep, that's pretty fucked. So I was close at predicting the part. She was abused by a former Haley family, and whoever was a former boss must be running all that mess. Forgot about Morena is real. Hashtag for legit Prince theory. Yep. No wonder why she's raging inside. She was basically abused since her birth as mate. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of basic, just this abuse plotline in a little bit in some ways. We'll see how it goes. It's very close to Mokuro's grim backstory, and that's also written by Togashi. The Yu Hakusho character. I like that they refer to Corolla as a martial artist. This chapter was a treat for Nen system enthusiast. Also, Morena's background, Borson's clever initiative. I knows Crollo and martial law is at place. Great one. So, is it possible that in the final turn, if she has the R card left, she could use it to get back the X card, thereby to leave completely unharmed? Well, I think the martial law is just going to disrupt everything, even if we get to that. Also, the Haley's boss backstory and goals sound like Gyro. If Gyro showed up again in the future, hope these two won't be too similar. That's true. It is, yeah. They are kind of basic, written, just abuse. Even to some extent, I like Gyro's mystery, finding out. Even then, that's a bit basic. It's basically the only chance she has of surviving now to get the R card. Tagashi's genius. I wasn't expecting that ending at all. I was so engrossed in the card game. Yeah, that's it. Just we were immersed in it, and then just bang 180 to something else. In my opinion, the most likely reason martial law was declared. Here we go. This will be interesting. Was declared because Benjamin saw GSB around Balsamico and connected the dots. If Benjamin can't see any GSB, not just his own, it would be one of his soldiers who saw it, since they for sure can see it. Okay, so they think Benjamin has seen Hulkenberg's Nen Beast, but honestly, it could be anything that blew Hulkenberg's cover from Nen around Balsamico's being different to the patterns in his behavior. Yeah, they would assume Benjamin and his soldiers know about everything about. I think murder of one of the Mafia benefactors is unlikely, because considering they're just all in the middle of the succession wars, death of another prince would not be good enough reason to enact martial law in eyes of Justice Bureau, unless Mafia would start roaming on tiers 1 or 2, which I think would be shown, or even just set up in some conversation, like e.g. Mafia boss will be take vengeance if Lizareth, etc. dies. Hulkenberg himself taking over Benjamin and enacting martial law is, in my opinion, even more unlikely, considering one factor. Now, Benjamin is not dead. Swap during Hulkenberg's ability is completely random. Let's imagine a scenario where Hulkenberg shot an arrow at Benjamin and it's one of his followers who got swap. Will Hulkenberg shot at a Benjamin's body until he will be the one to swap, basically sacrificing all of his followers who were swapped instead? Okay, Hulkenberg's mentality is different now, so I could see him deeming them as necessary sacrifices, but there is other factor that leads me to believe that it's not the case, and that Benjamin's soldiers. Unless we believe that for some reason Benjamin will be alone at that time, how could Tagashi explain Benjamin's soldiers not immediately attacking Hulkenberg's group once the arrow is shot at Benjamin? Surely, even if it's Balsamico's body. Yeah. Once Balsamico attacks Benjamin's soldiers should not even think twice and attack Balsamico immediately, as they all are Nen users who surely are aware of something called manipulation. I think Benjamin enacts martial law to control a situation he can't make sense immediately. What if Hulkenberg and his guards didn't discern the condition rules that the princes can't see their own and each other's Nen beasts? There's so many possibilities the way this could go. Like the previous comment said, Hulkenberg and Balsamico could just attack with the arrow. As Balsamico, Benjamin declares martial law. Or there could be a rule in place with Hulkenberg's ability. other princes can't notice Nen Beast or Nen around him, something like that. Only after Hulk confronted the king did he awaken to Nen, and at most only 2 of his guards would have gained Nen after Kurapika's class could Sumidori in Shikaku's body see Nen. Oh yeah, because as such Hulk's group, Sumidori. Let's want to recap on. So yeah, even Hulkenberg's ability, able to swap his guards to other people. Shikaku was one of Benjamin's guards, I believe, or I could be wrong about that. Yeah, one of Prince Benjamin's. Yeah, so they got control. As such, Hulk's group would not have had the experience and knowledge to realize who could and couldn't see GSBs, but unlike Benjamin, who grappled with not being able to see his own beast, so like past battles involving Nen, it's what one knows and doesn't know that's a big factor. Let's see what other comments. Yeah, well, someone commented, aren't shonen supposedly for teenagers? Why is chapter making me a man close to 30s, feeling ill in my stomach? Mercy, please. Have mercy on me, Togashi. Let's keep this up. I mean, it's Japan. What do you expect? This is great. The note from Sarasa has to be linked to the carnival. Maybe. I merely thought about this too. Both cases involve human trafficking and can't be a coincidence. I checked that Hunter wiki and it says the location meter city is unknown. So if that's true, then it must be close to Kakin. Maybe. I mean, imagine if Corollo finds this. The Haley, Morena, part of the carnival, the massacre group, and imagine if they killed Sarasa. That'd be really interesting. I seriously doubt that Morena chose Borskin only because she's potential specialist. More likely that it's because she has a connection to Sirishnik. So yeah, part of the Sirishnik crew, and it's in the military, one job where it's possible to go between tiers depending on circulation. It's possible that Morena doesn't have personal grudge on Seri just because of the Haley connection, but really the quickest way to chaos is getting Serenik involved indirectly. In this card, gamers restriction in case Morena loses. Yeah, so I don't think the card game's going to go on next week, but Borska needs the R card to get out of there. And just a random civilian, yeah, just fucked. Yeah, similar to Gyro. So Morena is Mukuro 2.0. This chapter was packed. Morena's backstory really reminds me of Gyro. Wouldn't make it to day 20, let alone reach a new continent. We're at day 12. We're getting there. Day 20, arrive at the new continent. I don't get the part with the mother. Morena says she died when Morena was 2, without realizing she had been pregnant. Is this a translation error? I think she's saying her mum was so unconscious after her pregnancy, she didn't even know she gave birth to Morena. That's pretty cooked. All her time at the hospital run by Haley Ring, she was so paralyzed during the pregnancy, and even 2 years later, she's still unconscious until she died. Seems like the drug the mothers continued abusing them along with the newborn babies. That's why Morena is saying she was abused for about 20 years, which makes since birth. Yeah, very cool chapter. Let's see. Yeah, Morena is pretty cool. Specialist 1 in 3000. Want to have Morena plans to destroy humanity. Interesting, we might have just gotten confirmation that HXH is a floating timeline. Morena mentions of her being from 98 group and most recent group being 20 group. Would put the timeline around 20 years ahead of what the timeline actually was. Yeah, so if she's 98, then the floating timeline would be 2020, I believe. Oh no, she's 24, so 2022 floating timeline. I don't think it matters that much though. Sushi was kind of too overpowered and his progression was unrealistic given the context of the story. But I take that back, but literally everyone is after his head. Phantom Troupe, Morena and her followers, other princes. He feels like the new Hisoka, just a wild card that would have the power to defeat everyone. Especially regarding child trafficking and abuse stuff, about conspiracy theories. Backstory found in Troupe and now Morena's backstory made me think Togashi went down similar rabbit holes. Kakin truly represents humanity's nastiest sides. I hope Morena takes them down. It could be linked in a lot of ways. What do you think Benjamin came up with as an excuse for enacting martial law? If I remember correctly, it has to be convincing enough for the Justice Department and of course not be related to Nen, which is not officially recognised. Maybe his excuse is to find and apprehend Hulkenberg's murderer. Who knows? So if Benjamin is the only one who can commit martial law to the Justice Department, maybe the Justice Department investigated more. Someone actually killed, someone's killed Hulkenberg. Reason for martial law because of that. just an excuse. Maybe Balsamico is dead. In in Hulkenberg's body now. Somehow that's related back to Benjamin. Freaks out, making another excuse for martial law. Nobunaga thinks to discuss about teleportation trap. Nobunaga said a single Nen user can't use both conjuration and forced teleportation emission, but then things said it could be specialist, implies a specialist. Yeah, apparently 3,000, 1 in 3,000, probably 50 on the ship. Let's see what else we got. Who was involved in the carnivals? It could be many people. Sidric was there. Does that mean Borskin herself participated as security? Theta beyond. How much does Shimano know? Chara family's playing way too innocent, and the Troupe, now that we know their true intentions without a doubt. Yep, the Char want revenge as well. Alright, last comment, and then we might wrap it up. While Morena tries to appear as trustworthy and open to Borskin as possible in order to recruit her, she briefly, at her cold-blooded nature, shines through during the conversation again. On the one hand, she wants to make sure that the person with the special type is recruited, but on the other hand, she told Borskin that it doesn't matter if it ends up being her or another special type, implying her replaceability is not big. It's a clear threat. She thus emphasizes once again that there is no other solution without consequences apart from a yes, while she ambivalently explains at length. That's why I enjoy the dialogue in Hunter x Hunter. I mean, Morena is definitely talking about a different specialist. She could know that Corolla is a specialist, but I do not see Morena going after Corolla, just too strong. Well, yeah, Dogman spotted Corolla last chapter. With that being said, I think I might end the stream. Awesome chapter. I think next week will be interesting to see what happens with the martial law. Will this card game continue? I see the game continuing based on Morena's personality. I don't see Morena caring about this martial law. I think it's possible that Borskin will get the R card to escape. Somehow, obviously Balsamico in Hulkenberg's body. It seems well enough he is dead now. Somehow, it has gone back to Benjamin through his ability. He's figured out somehow. He's made an excuse to the Justice Department to land martial law on everyone. So very interesting. I'm going to end it there. So thanks so much for watching the stream. Any bits of it, you can watch the whole stream again whenever you like with the pages up in front of you while the read-through is going on. Please share the video out. It's appreciated, and like, comment, subscribe to stay up to date with Hunter x Hunter news and reactions and analysis when the series comes up, and another anime when I get around to it. I've also got a Greed Island video in the works. Should have it out soon. Why Greed Island is the best arc in Hunter x Hunter. So I'm happy to release all that soon. But anyway, thanks very much. Have an awesome day, guys.